the story. I'm now joined by Imtiaz Gul in Islamabad. He's the Executive Director of the Center for Research and Security Studies. Imtiaz, good to have you on the show. Now, Shahbaz Sharif has always been in the shadow of his older brother, Nawaz Sharif, but he does have a reputation for efficiency, for being a hard worker. My question to you is, do you think that this will translate to the top job?
Well, I think he has that reputation, no doubt, but all will depend whether he is coming in as Prime Minister only for a few months in order to prepare for the general snap elections, which everybody is expecting to take place in 4 to 5 months maximum, or does he want to complete the term, the remaining for 13, 14 months in this tenure of the parliament? So that is the tricky question. And right now, the kind of political polarization that has taken place with 13 political parties on one hand pitched against Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-insaf, which today en masse resigned from the parliament. So whether it will see as to whether they can this coalition can really take Pakistan out of the political crisis that the PTI has plunged Pakistan in now with its mass resignations and with its mass mobilization campaign that the former Prime Minister has announced. It's not going to be an easy ride. We have to, however, keep in mind the most daunting task would be to at least keep the economy going the way it had started. And the Pakistan's textile sector is at the moment working overtime. Pakistan's exports have risen by 25% despite the COVID restrictions and SOPs in the last 2 years. So as a whole, the challenge would be to keep that trajectory and in fact provide further impetus to that upward trend in the exports, in the large scale manufacturing, and in the textile sector. However, it all depends on whether the opposition, the PTI, will cooperate and will basically allow the government to continue its work focus on the economy.
Imtiaz, I want you to give us a fair assessment of the current state of Pakistan's political landscape. Yes, I mean, there hasn't been a prime minister that's completed a full term in office, but it is unprecedented that we're seeing for the first time that a no confidence vote has gone through.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, Pakistan has its own peculiar political economy context in which Pakistan's military establishment has been almost a direct or indirect part and parcel of. And I think they have been very much instrumental from behind the scenes or in the front. And it will all depend as to whether Shahbaz Sharif, the new prime minister, can strike a cordial deal with the military establishment, because the moment the prime ministers tend to act more independently, the military establishment starts feeling uncomfortable because it considers itself as a guardian of Pakistan, as a guardian of territorial integrity of Pakistan. So obviously there are also some geopolitical factors behind it, but largely the army has moved in tandem with the civilian governments when it favored them, and they parted ways when the civilian government basically disagreed with some of the decisions of the military establishment. So this has been a give and take. This is nothing unusual, and this is what is unfolding right now. In this particular context, the army declared it is neutral, but you know, they're two different things. Saying it and doing it, they're entirely two different things.
Okay, Shehbaz Sharif, elected as Pakistan's 23rd Prime Minister. Imtiaz Gul, thank you very much for joining us here on the NewsHour. I do appreciate the analysis.